So I did my studies, bachelor, master's and PhD in Brazil at Federal University of Minas Gerais. And during the PhD we had this Brazilian program that it's called like sandwich PhD, because we spend part of your PhD abroad and then later you come back. And then we had the chance to go spend some time abroad in a place of our choice. So here I have to say I was very lucky that during my studies it was a very good time in Brazil with a lot of investments in higher education. Unfortunately, that's not the case at the moment. But so I wrote the project, and at the time I decided that I wanted to go to this institute in Poland. So I went to spend 1 year in Gdańsk in the institute called CIK. And this was a very nice experience. I could join many projects, which I could learn a lot. And it was also the time that I started building my network of international collaborators. Then I went back to Brazil to finish my PhD. And after that, I went to the Netherlands for my first postdoc, which was, again, a different experience. So my postdoc was at QTech in Delft University of Technology. And this was a bit different environment than the university environment I was used to, because QTech is quite a research mission-driven institute, completely focused on quantum technologies. But it was very interesting to be immersed in this place where there is research being conducted in all different platforms for implementations of quantum technologies. And since 2019, I'm at the Heinrich-Heine University of Düsseldorf, and I'm part of the Cluster of Excellence Matter and Light for Quantum Computing. And then again, I would say now I'm back to the university environment, which I like a lot. It's still very exciting because now I have a bit more independence. I'm in a more senior position, senior part of my postdoc, let's say. I can supervise students and lead projects a little bit more independently. The team is very nice, so I think, again, there is a lot of learning to come, and I'm very happy. From the problems that I could experience myself, I can mention that, for example, in Brazil, it's shamefully clear how the access to higher education is connected to your economical status, which is connected to the color of your skin, and this is very sad. But when I was towards the time of my PhD, there was some changes started to be implemented at the university, things like affirmative actions, or also broadening the number of available places, so to really increase the possibility of access to higher education. This started to happen, which changed a little bit the profile, but there is still a long way to go. And another problem that I could also see and experience in all the countries that I've worked on is the so-called leaky pipeline, that when we look at higher and higher positions in academic career or in higher education, the number of female researchers taking these positions, the percentage of female researchers taking these positions decreased significantly. And this I could see in all the places that I've been in. So I would say maybe these are the two things I can think of that I've most experienced. QTurn was conceived by 3 young researchers, so Ana Belén Sanz, Yelena Gurianova, and Juani Bermejo Vega. And well, as they say, QTurn was triggered by the need to address some problems and issues that were happening in our community. And I recall that at the time that QTurn was created, already some informal discussions were starting to happen in some conferences. For example, for the women's side of the community, we were saying, hey, it's not okay to have a conference where all the invited speakers are male. Maybe we should rethink it. So these discussions were already happening, and I think QTurn is a great initiative because it gives a space so that these discussions can happen in a systematic way and also reach a broad audience. So I myself, I was a participant, a speaker, and I was also part of the program committee of Cologne 2018. And I really liked the result of the initiative. So for this edition, I had the chance to join the main organizing committee. And so for me, the way I see it, it's like this. We all like to solve problems and to find the optimal solutions to all the problems. So why not bringing these thoughts and these skills also to our working environment and our working conditions and how we interact as a society. Because if we want to be good scientists and do good science, we also need to have a good working environment, a healthy environment. So I think it's great that Cologne has this space for bringing the scientists to discuss what are the issues that are still bothering us at the moment and maybe not allowing our full potential to be explored because we have some not so healthy work environments. So I would say that Cologne 18 was a very successful event, and I can also say that as a participant. But the organizers, they got very good feedback in the final survey that was sent to the participants after the event. And so, for example, we had a good there was a good gender balance at Cologne 2018. Also, a lot of participants from South America, and Cologne took place in Brazil, so it shows that it really engaged with the local community. The event was able to support travel of some of the participants, which is also nice if you want to increase the access of people to such events. So for Cologne 2020, we were already expecting an increase in comparison to the previous edition. But now that the event is taking place online due to the coronavirus pandemic, the numbers are much bigger, so we have a much bigger event ahead. So at the moment we have 450 registered participants, and I expect that this number is going to grow in the next week. This time we also tried to make an active effort to increase diversity in our committees, especially geographical diversity that was not so good at the first edition. So now all the committees are much bigger, both the organizing committee, the program committee are bigger. We also have the science program is also enlarged, and this was to accommodate all the many good submissions that we received. And the awareness program is also enlarged. So this year we are going to have 6 awareness sessions. And in particular, one of the sessions is going to be focused on mental health. That was one of the main requests from the previous participants, from the previous event. And yeah, I hope it's going to be a great event. I think if I see that the participants are really interacting the different platforms of the conference, so we hope that we chose a good format for the event that can really foster networking and a lot of discussions. So I would be extremely happy to see that despite the fact that the event is online, people can really get to interact with each other. And of course, if everyone has the same safe and welcoming feeling that I had in the 2018 edition.